Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Titusville CRA meeting on July 9th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. I'll call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Would you please join me at this time in a moment of silence? Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item of business is approval of minutes.
I move for approval, but there is one correction on the minutes, and that is, I think I was there, but my name is not on the list as being there.
Clerk, you heard that for correction, right?
Yes, sir.
We got it. Would you like to make, you made the motion? Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or corrections? All those in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed, like sign, passes unanimously. Special recognitions and presentations. We have none. Old business, we have none. New business. Mr. Director.
Agenda item 8A. The Housing Authority of the City of Titusville is proposing to build a first-floor addition to the Titusville Towers, an assisted living facility located at 405 Indian River Avenue. The property is in the downtown mixed-use, DMU, downtown subdistrict zoning district. The property is 6.14 acres in area. The DMU zone requires that all additions to existing buildings be subject to DMU code and downtown urban design manual requirements. All projects in excess of 1.5 acres to receive Community Redevelopment Agency design approval with a recommendation from the Development Review Committee. Since the project involves additions to the building on the property that are greater than 1.5 acres, the CRA shall receive recommendations from the DRC and make the final approval. The DRC unanimously found the proposed additions and design to be consistent with the DMU code and urban design manual and recommended approval of the proposed additions with two conditions that are: number one, replacement of trees located in the front of the building, and the proposed replacement of trees to be some other than pine tree canopy trees listed in the city's approved list of canopy trees in place of 5 proposed Norfolk Island pine trees.
Okay. Any questions for staff? I see none. Anybody like to make a motion on this item?
Move to approve the design appropriateness and conformance to the downtown mixed-use zoning code and urban design manual.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next item.
Item 8B, the Spaceview Park, Veterans Park, and Gemini Park are located on the Indian River Lagoon and separated by a dredged inlet. People wanting to tour both parks must back trail their steps in the Indian River Avenue to access the other park. An observation pier connecting the two parks at the east ends would allow visitors to tour both parks to the east ends without having to retrace their steps. An observation pier would also provide additional waterfront attraction for people to view the water, the scenery, the wildlife, and rocket launches. Staff is requesting advisability to research the feasibility of constructing an observation pier connecting the two parks and bring their findings back to the CRA for further direction and discussion.
I'm going to make a comment
Yes, sir.
before I go to the council. There's two different views up there, or two different potentials. The first one, which is angular, comes out, makes a right angle down there. I'm concerned that seems to be facing the bridge rather than most of the areas where space launches and so forth come on. So I personally would prefer, and I think it's a little, I don't know, a little better looking, frankly, the one with the curve. It seems to me that would be preferable. I just want to put my 2 cents in before. Member Diesel, you're first.
Yes, I would agree, Mayor, and I too like the horseshoe shape, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks great. When I first got to hear of this project, I was very impressed. Not sure who we get to congratulate for the thinking. And I won't say it's outside the box, but it's certainly something that is going to enhance the downtown area, the viewing, the aesthetics. I'm just impressed with it all the way around, and I too like the arch better than the other one.
Thank you, sir. Member Nelson?
I think it's called symmetry, and I do like symmetry.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a big word there.
So yes, I do like the arch. My question to Mr. Luis was if we could find, I'm going to call it a fountain, but it's not a fountain. It's like a sprinkler that lays on top of the water and creates a mist, sort of like we have at Harbor Point.
So
I don't
we'll
know if
look into
that'll
that.
work, but that would just, to me, that would add to it.
I will caution you because I'm familiar with that. It's very shallow,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure,
very dirty.
and very shallow. Yes, and there's a lot of weeds and everything else in there, so in order to do it, it would have to be put out further in the middle, and I don't know. Let's look at it and see, but it's going to be not as easy as
It
you
would be,
might think.
it would be nice.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know if it's
I
doable or
agree,
not.
but I just know there are problems with
I don't know,
that type.
Mr. Adams is over there smiling, so I'm not sure what he's up to.
Okay, anything else? Member Nelson? Okay. Next is Member Stokel.
I was just going to say, I agree with you guys. I like the second one a lot better. And again, when I heard about this project, I was super excited about it. And I think it's going to create a lot more traffic down in that area, people enjoying that area more. So I'm excited about it.
Very good. And Member Jordan.
Well, I want to make it unanimous, well, not unanimous, there's others for sure, but.
Mr. Ball.
Yeah, Mr. Ball.
Where's your button?
You got to press your button for sure, and Kurt. But I'm in total agreement with the mayor. I think it just looks better. It will enhance the downtown, and that's one of the things we're trying to do. So kudos to whoever came up with this. And the other one, for sure, this obtuse angle that it has is just not condition. I'm trying to follow after her, but I think it's a good idea for sure. So.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Member Ball.
Guess
We
what?
almost
I'm going to
forgot
make
you
it
there.
unanimous. I like that configuration better as well. And I think I know the answer to this, but the feasibility analysis staff will include not just cost estimates, but permitting requirements and all of that. Have you had any preliminary conversations with the permitting agencies?
We have not.
Okay. And just a point of information on, because I haven't frankly been down there recently to see if has the storm restoration on the other dock been completed? Do you know?
No, sir, it's not. We did do, the permits have been issued to do that work, and the county does have the funds to do it. So I believe they're going to mobilize towards the end of the summer for that project.
Are those little gray things out in the water, are those like covered, I won't call them gazebos, but what are those?
Currently one gazebo,
Yeah.
if you will. It's just a standing area there. So we thought for symmetry,
Yeah, symmetry's good.
that we might have one
Symmetry's
on the
good.
other end.
Symmetry.
All right, great. So, yeah, I'll just echo the other comments. And I think from going forward with the feasibility, I'm all for it.
Thank you, sir.
Be
Member
happy to-
Leedy.
I'll make it
Oh,
unanimous.
that's right. Sorry.
I knew that was coming.
I'm with all you guys. Yep. Works for me.
Okay. We need a motion on that for advisability, or
You can if you want. We've got direction, it's advisability, so.
certainly consensus?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next item is petitions and requests from the public. Would anybody like to speak? right.
Stan Johnson, 860 Poinsettia Avenue. Tonight, I'm addressing you because there are problems with the city that I have struggled to communicate with, especially the council members. I'm speaking before the CRA because council members have not returned phone calls and responded to emails, so I'm here to speak to you in person. And the issue I'm talking about does affect the CRA. It's drainage relief on west of I-95 for those what I want to call floodways. And there's numerous of them between Fox Lake Road and State Road 50. The drainage relief is restricted and can affect the vicinity of South Street and Indian River. There's some basins in there that also can be affected. I've recently reviewed the effects of clogging that can occur west of I-95. It affects potentially 6 square miles of city property. That's a lot of property, and I've written to you about the possibility of that it may invalidate your NFIP with the National Flood Insurance Program. So it's an important issue to look into, and I'm going to send to you in writing soon. It's going to say something like this. It's going to say, I can bluntly say that any professional, including engineers, attorneys, judges, planners, government administrators, city managers, and politicians who oppose the maintenance of drainage relief for the city of Titusville that is critically located to the west of I-95 between Fox Lake Road and State Road 40 and State Road 50, located to the west of I-95, or who doubt that this drainage relief is restricted are illogical and careless. Their consideration of this matter is of extreme nonsense and gross negligence, and they are a danger to the health, safety, and welfare of the public. And I'm saying this because we got 6 square miles of city property that I want to say is, I'm telling you, is the firm maps are invalidated. So this is a serious issue. I'm speaking to you tonight as a professional engineer, and I'd like you to look into this matter. Let me say also is that all these professional people that I mentioned, the attorneys, judges, and so forth, who have no reasonable response, I'm contacting, have no reasonable response to why their position disagrees with the engineers who did the design of I-95, the master plan, stormwater master plan, freshwater management study, firm maps, and myself. Am I over?
Your time is up, sir.
May I have more time? May I have 2 more minutes?
I see no motion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else to come up on the petitions? Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Heather Behringer, 2718 Tomoka Avenue. Hi, I'm here from Upper Mohawk, which is a business downtown, and I also have the privilege of being the executive director for their nonprofit, which is Seventh Generation Community Services Corporation. And I know that you have received some information about some events that we've had going on in the CRA, and I just wanted to come and tell you a couple things about, we just did a life skills camp for kids ages 10 to 14 here in the CRA in the Hidden Post, which was a huge success. We had 12 kids attend, which was our max, and we have a waiting list currently of 25 kids for the next time that we do it. And one of the really amazing things about this was it brought kids from all over the North Brevard area. We had kids from Merritt Island, we had kids from Scottsmore, we had kids from all over that came, and their parents who were in our CRA downtown area for a week. And throughout the week of the camp, at the commencement of it, we did a dinner inside the Hidden Post, which if you guys haven't been there, it's a really awesome new venue that's been redone downtown. And the parents got to see some of these things firsthand in the CRA, which was really exciting for some of them because they didn't even know that some of the things were down there. So I just wanted to let you know that we've been working on things for kids in the CRA area because I know that that is a huge thing that is always brought before you guys. What is there for kids? What is there for kids? And this was our pilot program, and what we're hoping to do from this is to launch after-school and Saturday schools for kids to be able to learn life skills, such as cooking, sewing. We did woodworking, which most of the girls really loved using the saws, which which was very cool. We also gave them classes in etiquette, financial literacy, communication skills. So all of these 21st century skills that they're going to need to be going in the next phase of their life. You know, we talked a lot about their digital footprints and things like that. So that was it. I just wanted to let you know we've been working on kid activities down there, and if you had any questions on any of the literature that got dropped off for you, that
Well,
was.
you have some lights, so
Okay.
Member Jordan, you're first.
Sorry, I'm very nervous on a microphone.
It's
so-
okay. You shouldn't be
If I
nervous.
was over here, I'd be fine.
Are we
but-
really that frightening?
We got funny faces or something.
Member Jordan.
You said Upper Mohawk.
Yes.
You're the executive director of
I'm the chief
foundation?
operating officer for Upper Mohawk, which is a government
Oh,
contracting
yeah, I know what
company.
it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
When did
and
that happen?
About a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the foundation, what's the mission of the foundation?
So the seventh generation has been around since 2003. And originally, Upper Mohawk started it, to give you a little bit of background. The owners and founders of Upper Mohawk are both, Ken Barnes is fully Native American, and Pat Barnes is, she has partial Native American heritage. So what they did with the foundation is, as they were doing government contracting on the reservations, what they saw was just a lack of and inequities in the education that was found on the reservations. So what they did was, through the foundation, they brought computer labs and set up internet access for the kids. They donated school supplies. They had a program where they were paying full scholarships for some of these kids to go to college. They paid for scholarships for kids to go to Harvard, Texas Tech, MIT, and the only caveat with it was that they had to go back to the reservation for a year and bring back what they learned. So, and somehow, the girl who went to MIT, she did something with water purification that she was able to bring back to the reservation. So, the BIA schools that are on a lot of the reservations get a half, and they get a half of 1% of what the federal budget is, and that's all of them combined. So if you think about how little money we get right now for our regular public schools, you know, they get that fraction. So that they did that with that. But the founders have lived here in Titusville for, Pat's been here for 50 years, and Ken's been here for about 30. In the last 10 years, they looked around and said, man, our backyard really needs help. So we shifted the focus for the nonprofit, and what we've been doing is trying to bring back true home economics for kids. So the economics of homemaking, not just, you know, how do you sew, but how do you take care of your home? So, you know, why do you need a budget for cooking? Why do you, why is it important to know how to balance your checkbook, even though the computer does it now, kind of things, you know? And for the past year, I've been going into some of the schools and teaching some of these courses. We've been working together with a lot of the programs, with the launch program at Space Coast. I was at Sculptor, and kind of reintroducing the kids to these programs, because one of the things that we see, which for any of you guys that are business owners or working in industries, you know, you can see that the kids, as they're leaving high school, are lacking some of these skills. It's not appropriate to come in here and speak before you and, ripped up jeans and a t-shirt or something, So some of these things, how are we're pushing vocations now, but are we giving the tools that they need in order to be able to go and interview for these jobs? How can they take the skills that they have and give them, and sell themselves? So, and are they going to be ready and prepared to be in a workforce, even if they don't go to college? So that's really their mission, and financial literacy. So like I said, we've restructured and brought it directly here to the North Brevard area, because they just felt that in this climate right now that our own kids needed help. So, I mean, my own daughter attended our camp, so, and it was really helpful for her, because sometimes hearing it from somebody else instead of mom is,
Yeah.
you know,
Understand.
a bit
Appreciate it.
easier. So,
Thank
Yeah.
you, I appreciate it.
yeah, you're welcome.
Member Stokel?
So first off, I did see about this, I think, on Facebook, and I wanted to sign up myself, but that's okay. Especially the cooking lesson.
We're always accepting volunteers.
The cooking lesson. I know, and that was going into my second question was,
Yeah.
It sounds like you're revamping it and starting fresh. Do you have any, I guess, are you open to brainstorming and trying to look for consistent things? Like maybe have it more than 1 week during the summer in the future?
Yes.
Maybe expanding it to different topics?
Yeah, yes, and the honest answer was, in my background, I've done a lot with kids, but I have not always incorporated so much of kind of the teaching part to it, the etiquette, the communication, the financial literacy, and we were not sure how the kids were going to receive it.
Okay.
So one of the things that I was very concerned with was recidivism. I don't want them to come through and just go, yeah, okay, that was fine, my mom made me go. We wanted them to come through and go, man, that was really cool. And I never thought about, if I put that picture on Facebook that, in 10 years when I go get a job, my boss is gonna look at it,
Right.
or, it costs $20 to go get a hem fixed, but if I can do it with a sewing machine, that's going to be really useful in college kind of thing. So yes, we have thought about that, and we actually just had our wrap-up meeting last week where I think we're going to start doing monthly workshops.
Okay.
And one of the takeaways that I took was we had too much. So we weren't able to dive deep enough. So what I think we are planning on for next summer is offering multiple weeks with, this
You pick
whole
your
week we're going to
workshop.
do woodworking. And
Okay.
instead of just making one thing, they'll learn more and be able to go more in depth with it. But
Okay.
still include these different, why is budgeting important when you're talking about woodworking? Why is communication important? Why is, all those pieces to it.
And I think you touched on it a little bit too. Are you looking to hopefully partner with the school system a little bit, maybe after school program or club or something potentially?
Yeah, we are, yes, we're trying to figure that out. I mean, the schools have no budgets.
Right.
For extra things. So that's what, we're doing a golf tournament. We're partnering with the American Space Museum, and we're doing a golf tournament in September. And one of the things we're using with those funds is to continue some of these programs, because the schools have no money, we can't do everything for free kind of deal, so we've been trying to brainstorm some fundraising, and where we haven't really had to fundraise in the past because most of it was through the company.
Right.
It was very specific things that we did, but now as we're trying to touch more kids and get involved in different areas, that's
Okay.
what we're
And
trying
then
to do.
last question.
Yeah.
Age range, I see this one was, I think, 10 to 14. Are you sticking to that age range, or is it more broad?
We're expanding, but
Okay.
that age range, why we started with that age range is because at 10 to 14, they're old enough to absorb and understand, but they're not really so old that they've already solidified their opinions yet. So, while I could put budgets on the board and talk to them about, if you babysit 4 times a month and you make $25 each time and you want to buy this new pair of Vans and go to the movies with your friend, do you have enough money? At 18, when some of them already have car payments and car insurance, and, they've already made those hard decisions of, am I going to college yet? Am I not going to college yet kind of deal. But at 10 to 14, we're still able, in my opinion, to help effectively change some of the things that the kids have not been exposed to. So teaching them the concept of what kind of lifestyle would you like to have, and this is how you can get there, instead of going, this is what life has handed me, I wish I could do that.
Right.
So teaching them about the fact that, circumstances don't affect your future. You can do whatever you want. So if the girls kept talking about, driving a Mercedes. I said, girls, any of you could drive a Mercedes. If you're gonna go to college, you can choose whatever you want when you go, Nobody says you have to go to college and come out and get a $40,000 a year job. You wanna go to college, you can choose, let's do the research and figure out what jobs that interest you will, give you the financial freedom to do whatever you want. And that was very well received by some of the kids who have may not been exposed to some of those things. One thing that was very cool through this process was the Truth About Titusville Facebook page. They had seen our flyer and they put it up there, and they raised money to sponsor 2 of the kids.
Oh, no way.
So, which was really cool because it was kind of a pricey camp. It was $200 for the week, which is out of the budget of a lot of people. So we had a wide spectrum of socioeconomics within the camp. So it was really a very diverse week for a lot of the kids. But what we realized was some of these things have to be more tailored to different age groups. So yes, we do plan on having things for the high school, 10th, 11th, 12th graders that are dealing with different things, talking about, what is compound interest when you're purchasing a car, something like that. And, we had a lot of interest from kids that were like the 5 to 8-year-old range where they can't really do the same things that a 10 to 14-year-old are doing. So, yeah.
Well, I'm excited, and I'll probably end up talking to you about it more. See
Awesome.
how I can
Thank you.
Member Nelson?
I'm planning on snagging you. I would seriously like to sit down and talk to you
Yeah.
about a potential partnership. I think this is something that would really benefit the community, and especially that low socioeconomic group. So hopefully, call me, let's sit down, I'll get Aaron, who's our director,
Yeah.
and see what we can work out.
That would be great, and that's why what we use a lot of the fundraising funds for is to
Yeah.
be able to touch the kids that would not be able to afford this.
Yeah. And
or
it-
don't get it at home.
And even if you're there like one day a week or one day a month, that would be helpful. Because you're right, these kids don't get it.
Yeah.
And they just crave attention, and they just soak up anything you talk to them about. So that would be great. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
Name the organizations.
Oh, for the boy. Oh, for the boy. Heather knows. Heather
I know
knows.
Heather knows, but there's other people out there.
Oh,
Just letting you get a plug. Yeah.
okay. Thank you for the plug. For the Boys and Girls Club. Now that our roof is slowly going on, I'm feeling much more excited, and I will give a plug to Frank and Liz Steele, bless their souls. They took all the hardware from the Carter House because it's antique,
Yeah.
and they refinished all of it. So it looks great. It looks great. But now that the roof's on, I'm feeling like, okay, you can
Hopeful.
actually like start making plans, and you see
Yeah.
an end in sight. Yeah.
Yeah, we would love that. I'll call you.
Yeah, okay. And I want to see yeah, okay.
Vice Chair?
Yes, ma'am. As an educator, and knowing how passionate you are about education, I just sit back and listen and think, wow. I mean, this was well thought out. The topics, the subjects, the reasons for the whys of the, and I don't mean WISE, but the whys of the whole camp was amazing to me. And as sitting up here on the CRA board, I'm really excited about where you had it. Because no matter how many times we hear about a really great program like that, and it really was, just to listen to how well this was thought out. Well, we're talking about this because of this, and you can buy this. They don't hear that enough. But what we don't hear very much are having youth activities in the CRA. And you noted earlier, and I think it can't be overstated, where you have kids, you have parents. And to bring and I've been some of the first times that some of these people have been down there. So with that, I'm just ecstatic about what you're doing. And I've known you for a long time, and I know your passion for kids and for education. What a great tool.
Thank you.
What a great road. So thank you for doing that and where you did it.
Thank you.
Member Leedy?
This is a wow for me, too. I think this is great. I guess one question I have is, who do you, are you getting who are the teachers?
So I have a master's in educational leadership. So I taught most of the classes. Pat Barnes, who's our president and founder, she is very passionate about sewing. She taught all the sewing stuff. We had a volunteer from FPL, and our vice president of the board, Ken Barnes, who worked with the woodworking. And then we had the owners of Steve's Diner. They came and volunteered to do the cooking portions. So we got volunteers from the community. So, and we had a couple high school kids in there too that helped, for volunteer hours, just kind of supervising.
Well, I'd like to get, it seems to me too, if you need that resource, what Dan said, I'm substituting at Titusville High School, and I noticed the curriculum here has, I'm really excited about manners and etiquette.
Yes.
That's looking good. But it seems to me that there's a lot of retired guys and women that financial background that would probably love to get involved in helping you and helping this. And I was, quite frankly, sitting here, if you put it on the curriculum, of course, Walt knows I'm going to say this, but if you want to add animal husbandry, we can get you worked out with dogs and horses and pigs and that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is great. Thank you.
Thank you. We did for the manners and etiquette after we taught them about it. We the dinner on Thursday night, the kids had to learn how to set the table appropriately, and then we taught them how to serve their parents. Like serve the mom first, you always serve the ladies first and then the dad. And we definitely worked on manners throughout the week because some of their manners were,
Yeah.
but it was great. It was great. So thank you. Yes, we would love more volunteers.
I was reading an article just about that the other day, how I believe this is, the gist of the article was that in Japan, pre-K, their first year has nothing to do with a curriculum. It has to do strictly with manners and etiquette and how to get on their whole year. So
They need that.
yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, as everybody else, I also applaud you for what you're doing. I think it's great. And if somebody out there listening tonight wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Yes, please. Anyone who wants to volunteer. They can reach me at Upper Mohawk. The phone number there is 321-269-6939, or my email is hberenger@uppermohawkinc.com. Sorry, I have 3, so
That's all right. That's all right. For someone who was nervous, you did an excellent job.
Thank
I
you.
want to compliment you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Phone number one more time, a little slower, so people are at home listening.
Sure. 321-269-6939, and I'm Heather Berenger, so just ask for me and they'll transfer it. So
And the
thank you.
company is Upper Mohawk.
Upper Mohawk.
Thank you very
So
much.
thank you for the time.
Not at all. Anyone else on the petitions and requests that wish to speak? I see no one. Next item is Executive Director report.
Yes, sir. No action items for your consideration, and information items are there, subject to your questions.
Any questions? Go right ahead.
I noticed that the executive director visited the real estate offices, and I think that's great and applaud that action, and that's a good list. And did that go well for her, or do you know, or is there a?
The feedback was that the majority of the real estate agents had access to the information.
Okay. All right. Good.
Very good. Okay, at this point, any other items that anybody wants to bring up, or? I see none, so with that, we've accomplished what we needed to, so I declare this meeting adjourned.